Okay, back on the ground, we'll go up the passenger side. First off, over the bedroom window on this side, the same fabric awning that we saw on the other side. Nice for privacy. Gives it, again, a nice look when you're parked and camping. The rear basement compartment on this side, it is a pass-through compartment. You can see daylight through there now. All the flooring's in good shape, the same aluminum tread plate that we mentioned earlier. Independent lighting. Then next we have the water heater compartment. That is a 6-gallon water heater. It's propane fired. It's enough for one person to take a comfortable shower. Have to wait about 5 minutes or so before the second person does, but we've never found that to be inconvenient in any way. 6 gallons. And then here's the plumbing going into and out of the water heater. Same independent light for each compartment. The plumbing has never had any problems, no leaks. We winterize it every winter by draining all of the lines, and we put heaters on the inside, so there's really nothing left there to freeze or to be damaged during the wintertime. So that's always been done properly. Then over the main entranceway we see the large fabric awning, which is again in good shape. I know I've said fabric several times. It's much preferable to vinyl awnings that tend to mildew and mold and crack and dry rot over time. These awnings don't do that because they're fabric. The next compartment, we're just rear of the main entrance, and you can see that's another pass-through compartment. Goes all the way through to the other side. One thing we really like about this motorhome is the amount of storage in it. A lot of storage underneath and inside as well, which we'll show later. This is a smaller compartment height-wise because the propane storage tank is located underneath. That tank has been filled up once in the 4 years that we've owned this coach, so you don't use a whole lot of propane unless you camp in the winter a lot and use the furnace on the inside. If we camped in the winter, we always plugged in electric heaters because it was much more efficient, and the power supply at the campgrounds is paid for as part of the camping fee. You see here the hydraulic ram that drives the slide out. There are two of these. This is the one on the rear side, and again, hydraulic it's smooth operation. There's no adjustment has ever been required by us, and we've never had any problems at all with the slide mechanism on this motorhome. And last is the front compartment on the passenger side. Same thing with the aluminum tread plate, lighting. Here's the front hydraulic ram for the slide out. One thing nice about this motorhome is you have a spare tire, which all of them don't. So in the event that it's ever needed, it's here, and that can save you a lot of time getting back on the road. A tire iron shown there as well, and you can put your own jack in here, or some people use the leveling jacks to change a tire in an emergency. I don't think that's recommended, but it's possible. Okay, that concludes our video of the exterior of the coach. Next we'll go on the inside and try to capture as many details in there as we can. This motorhome has electric retracting steps, so when you open the door, the steps extend, and that can be turned off when you're parked so that they don't open and close every time the door is open. We have plastic covers on the rise on the back of the treads, keeps the carpet in good shape, vinyl steps. The control panel, as you walk in the coach, the bottom are battery disconnects. The coach rocker switch isolates the coach batteries that we showed outside next to the generator. so that there's no drain during storage. The chassis battery rocker switch isolates the motor battery so that it doesn't drain as you're in storage. Up above, these three rocker switches, that one operates porch light on the outside. The second one overrides the step so that when you're parked and camped, if you want to turn that off, the steps won't extend and retract every time the door is opened. And then this one operates overhead lights on the inside. Fire extinguisher here by the door. I assume that's part of some DOT or other government regulation requirement, and generally a good idea to have if you need it. Okay, so we'll come in now, have a look through the front. Just kind of a view here of what you see as you're driving down the road. If you've never owned or driven a motorhome before, it makes for just a really nice view to see the road and see wherever you may be traveling in the country. Okay, we'll start first over here on the left-hand side. This will be a little bit difficult to get, but on the floorboard next to the driver's seat is a hydraulic control panel. What that does is it turns on the hydraulic motor first so the slide can operate. Then it controls 4 leveling jacks that extend out of the bottom of the coach. Those extend down, touch the ground, and they're used to stabilize the coach so it doesn't move when you're walking in here. This is of course once you're parked. And it also allows it to be leveled side to side and front to back so that all of the sinks drain correctly and the doors open correctly and stay open. And you don't have any problems with things being out of level. Alright, again, driver's side door, which is nice on this motorhome. We'll start over here. There's a CB radio, which we never used much, but if you enjoy that kind of thing, it's there and it operates well. We have light panel here. This switch is your remote control for the 2 mirrors on the outside, independently controlled. They all work fine. This toggle switch is for heated mirrors, which doesn't do us much good in the climate here in West Georgia, but if you need them, they're there and they work. This is the slide panel that I talked about earlier. To extend the slide, you have to crank the motor, make sure the parking brake is on, turn this key from off to on, and then you have extend and retract on this rocker switch. This light will illuminate if the jacks are down, and a buzzer goes off so that you're reminded not to drive off with the jacks down, which would be a major problem. Okay, on the steering wheel we have cruise control, just like all the other Ford models that you see. Windshield wipers, intermittent. There's a tilt steering wheel so you can get comfortable. Overdrive transmission, automatic transmission, shifts well, runs well. We've never had any transmission trouble. Dash air vent and then dash air. This operates independently of the 2 roof airs that we saw earlier. Blows cold unless you get in a really hot environment. This dash air is enough to keep the driver and the passenger up front cool, so there's no need to run the generator and the air conditioners in the rear as you're traveling unless you're in a really hot environment. I would say 100 degrees or more. This is a aftermarket AM/FM stereo with a CD and also an external iPod plug-in that was put in by the previous owner. There's speakers up front, high on either side. There's 2 more in the back over the bed. There's, I guess that's a subwoofer or something. I don't know that much about those, except that it works. And then there's an amplifier under this cabinet behind the subwoofer. Okay, this antenna up alarm, this light illuminates if the